Welcome to DBMS Lab. Okay, here it's for the depending on the scheme. So what all things are there? Just will have the look. Okay. So here this is a DBMS laboratory with many project he is mentioned. So we have actually part A and part B. So part A carries 50 marks. Okay, and part B carries 30 marks. Part A is nothing but 5 programs we have. So 5 programs we have to execute it. Okay. Then part B carries 30 marks. That is for the mini project. Okay. So in detail we will discuss about what are things you have to do it. Okay. In mini project all those things. Okay. So part A carries total 5 programs. So like this he given the actually 5 programs name and related to queries also. Okay. So what all things you have to use it, all those things he mentioned it. Okay, so first we'll go for first one. Okay, here this is first one is he given some instruction, that is nothing what he is saying is a consider the following schema for a library database. Okay, for a library related thing he given the some schema. Okay, there he mentioned as a it's a book. Okay, book author, publisher, book copies, book leadings. There's nothing but all or borrowers. Okay, book leadings. Okay, then library programs. So here is nothing but different branches may be there in library. So what are those branches? Okay, so related to that information. Okay, so like this he given some information. So then he is saying as a write the query for these 5 things. Okay, 5 queries you have to write it. So to write these 5 queries, what all things you have to do is, so whatever he given the information, these things you have to create the table first. Okay, with the proper primary key and foreign key. Okay, and proper data type. Then you have to write the you have to insert the values, proper values, so that each query should get at least one row as output. Okay, so here, so these tables you have to create it, you have to insert the values, then actually you have to write the queries for this one. Okay, so here he given something like this here. So let's see, there's a book, so he told us a book id will be there. Okay, title is there, publisher name is there, publication year is there. Okay, so who is publisher, that then here we have the publication year. Okay, so then if you saw book author, so whichever id is there, book id, so for that book id you have something as a some particular author. Okay, then for a publisher here you have a name. Okay, for publisher the address, then phone number. Okay, so book copies. Okay, so here you have book id, so whatever book will be there for this id, so that id. Then program id, there's nothing but here we have program id, that's nothing but library programs. In this is the program id is there. Okay, so that is the id, so this means it belongs to some branch. Okay, so library branch is there, so in one city you may have a number of branches. So like that here in that branch, so this book id is how many copies are there. Okay, so that is there in this table. Okay, so then here next is who all are borrowing it. So here this is a book id, so in which branch. Okay, so in library, then who is borrowing, so for that he will be having the some identity card number. Okay, so there is a card number. Then so what is the date of issue, then it's nothing but due date. So within that date he has to submit it back. So like that this is the table is there. Okay, so here, so he given the primary keys, that is underline whatever things are there, he given the primary keys. So here we have 2 things, there's nothing but these 2 together is the primary key. So if you saw here in book leadings, here we have total 3 things, 3 attributes. So these 3 attributes together is my primary key. There is book id, program id, then card number. These 3 together is the primary key. But here we are not mentioned what is a foreign key. So you have to identify the foreign keys and you have to create it tables properly. Okay, there is nothing but here. So first you have to identify, so any table has the primary key and that key is referred anywhere else. Okay, so can I consider as a book author can have a book id, then author name, or book is the main entity. Okay, so for that you will be having the book is the main entity. For that you will be having the book id, then that id will be referred in the book authors table. Okay, so there's something but this whatever is there, this is we're referring from some other table, that is nothing but book table. So here this is the foreign key. Okay, so like that you have to go one by one, you have to identify it. And if you saw here, book library, sorry, library program, this is nothing but some branch related information. Okay, what the address is there, where that branch is located, like that. Okay, so this id is nothing but here is the primary key. Okay, this id is referred in this book loading and book copies table. Okay, so that is if you saw here, program id both side, this one is referred. Okay, so here by seeing these things, one more thing we have to concentrate as a, so whatever he given, this is a table, so in the same order can I create or not? Okay, suppose if I created book table, fine, we can create it. Then book author we can create it, publisher we can create it. Then we are saying is a book copies. Okay, so book copies in this thing, whatever we are saying is a program id, this is referred from the library program table. Okay, so in our database, if it is not there before creating this book copies, it means it will give the error, because you can't refer which is not there in your database only. Okay, so first which all tables are required, that you have to identify, then you have to create those tables, and in the remaining tables while creating it, maybe some references you can give it. Okay, so uh, here by seeing this one, first what all things you have to do is, so he will be giving the table name, these are the table names, primary keys he given. So you have to identify the foreign keys, then you have to identify the, so in which order you have to create it. Okay, so wherever he given same common attribute names, those you can consider as a foreign keys. Okay, so except sometimes it will be there as a name. Okay, so those names are not actually foreign key concept, like here consider as a, so publisher name is there and here programmer name. Okay, so these two are not at all actually related. Okay, this is a publisher, he also has a name, and this program also has the name it, but those two are actually not at all related. Okay, so this kind of things you should not use as a primary key and foreign key concept. Okay, but if you saw here publisher name and book. Okay, so book name will be there and publisher name will be there. Okay, so these two again are different only. Okay, so here whoever is publisher is there, that name is there. Sorry, okay. Here publisher only given, sorry. Okay, so here he given as a publisher name, it's not a book title is there. Okay, so different title is there. So these two are the related one actually. Okay, so there's nothing but publisher, whatever information is there, this publisher name has to be referred here. Okay, so like that you can do it. So for that, what all things you have to do is, so here you have to create the tables, then one by one queries will look at it. Okay, then first, so now what we'll do is here, so we'll create the table. So while creating table, whatever primary key he given, so those primary keys I have mentioned. Okay, so like this I have mentioned the primary keys while creating the table. And data type, depending on the situation, I given as it's maybe varchar or integer kind of things, or maybe date. Okay, so by seeing the attribute you will come to know it. Okay, so like book id, so it may be an integer. Okay, or it's a number only actually. Okay, so something but here we given as a here, it's a second table actually. Okay, so book id, that is uh, integer we are given. Okay, so if you saw here, so whatever table he given as a book, he is given as a first one. Okay, but while creating, we are not creating this one as a first one, we are creating publisher as a first one. Why this is? Because this name is referred in book table. Okay, that is publisher name, we are referring from the publisher table here. Okay, so because of this, so directly without creating publisher table, if you are trying to create a book table, what will happen? This will give the error. Okay, so that is nothing what it's saying as a publisher name is not there in my database only, so I can't refer it. So first you have to create the this one. Okay, there is nothing but whichever is independent table is there, those tables you have to create it first, then dependent tables you have to create it later. Okay, so here if I consider as a book, this is a dependent table which depends on publisher table. Okay, so like that what we are doing is, first we are creating for a publisher, then book, like that dependency I have identified, then one by one I have listed here. Okay, His first publisher table, there is a name is there, that is only a primary key. So whatever he given it, same thing I am following it. Whatever he given it, the same thing I am following it. There's nothing. What here we are saying is a this is a name is a primary key. Then address is there. Then phone number. Okay, so we have taken as an integer. Then we are creating a book. So here book ID is the primary key. Okay, then title, then publisher name is there. Then we are saying is that this publisher name is referred from publisher table. Okay, that is something what we are saying is a it's publisher name, varchar data type, references publisher tables name. Okay, that is nothing but here publisher tables name, whatever is there, that we are referring it. Okay, so next there as a we have the publication year. Okay, so that year we are giving it, it's mentioned as a data type as a integer. Okay, then third one, book author. Okay, so here book ID, so whatever book table we created, it's referring from that. Okay, so here book ID is the integer data type, refers from book tables book ID. Okay, so this attribute we are referring it, book tables book ID we are referring it. Okay, then author name is there. Then these two only are there. So here, so here we have only two things. Okay, so these two things are there. So after that you have to mention in this table primary key. Okay, so you can mention primary key like this. Okay, so separately you can mention it, or while explaining only. So okay, okay. Yeah. So here only, like if it is a one attribute, directly you can write it here, or if it is a combination of two attributes, okay, so you can write it both together. Okay, so here actually this is a underline is there for both things. Okay, because same author can write more than one books. Okay, so this is not depend on this author table, it's not dependent on only book ID. So both same author can have the more than one table. So here actually this underline is there for this attribute also. Yeah, author name, so both together is my actually primary key. So here, so both together we are forming a, that is a book ID comma author name. These two together we are saying as is my primary key. Okay, then next one, like that for each thing we identified the primary keys. Okay, data types, then we listed it. Okay, so like here library programming, this is independent table, so we created, just we given the primary key. So next, book copies. So here we are saying as a book ID is referred from book table, and program ID is referred from library program. Okay, so it's referred from library program. Okay, so whenever you are referring creating a primary key, okay, so that time we are writing primary key in bracket what all attributes are there. So here two attributes are there that we listed. So like that here in last table, here primary key, so we have total three things. Okay, so that is nothing but here 1 2 3. Okay, so book heading, in this table we have book ID, program ID, card number. So these three things we are listing it. So these three things together is the my primary key. Okay, and here one more thing is we are using the date data type. Okay, that is sorry, date out, that is nothing but when you are issuing it, so that is the date out. Okay, so after that, then due date, so last date, within that you have to submit the book. Okay, so for that data type you are given as a date type. Okay, so like this we given that particular data type for all the attributes, primary key and foreign key we have identified. Then we have to create it. So in this order we have to create the table. So I have already written here, so these things I will copy paste it in our SQL command prompt. Okay, so we have created, so these all tables, that is nothing but 6 tables, whatever we had, 6 tables we have created. Okay, so then next, before going for this actually our SQL queries, what we have to do is we have to insert the values also. Okay, so you have to insert the all 16 table values also, and it's better practice that you have to insert in same order whatever you created in the table. Okay, so it's better you have to insert same order. Okay, so we can mix it, but whenever reference keys will come, so that time it will be difficult to insert the values. Okay, so for example, I can't insert the book table entries. Okay, so because here this publisher name is referred. Okay, so until and unless something is there in a publisher table, you can't insert values in a book table. Okay, so at least one value should be there in publisher table, then only you can insert in book table. Okay, so that's why same table whatever we created in the same order, you have to insert the values also. Okay, so here I have listed some values for each table. Okay, so how we have to come up with these values is nothing but normally you can give any random values, no problem. Okay, just maintain the data type particularly whatever it's given. Okay, and if possible while giving the values, use something as a it makes some sense. Okay, so like here are some books whatever we're entering it title we normally are given as shortcuts actually. Okay, so DBMS CN da subject whatever subjects you have. Okay, so like that we given it. Okay, and who is the publisher, there's IEEE or Springer. Okay, so Pearson, like that whatever is that little bit sense they have to make it. Okay, so randomly if you given as XYZ it will be difficult to remember you also and understand also. Okay, so better, so whatever attributes are there like that, try to give the particular values also. Okay, and here the book IDs. Okay, so I normally I'm trying to give values as a it's nothing but it's three digit number. Okay, so that's why we given as a 101 onwards. Okay, this is the book IDs. Okay, and here we saw more thing is here this is a card number. Okay, so 5012 this is 506. Okay, so whatever these values are there, there's nothing but card number, library card number we are giving it. Okay, and while inserting the date values. Okay, so there's nothing but date actually how you have to give is YYY hyphen then month then actual date. Okay, so these things you have to give it. So it may be a 08 also you can give it, or directly 8 you can give it, it's left to you. Okay, so like this you can insert it. So and whenever you are inserting this one, okay, values you have to give in single quote. So whenever you will use a single quote, what system will identify this is a nothing but a string. Okay, that is nothing but a varchar or char data type. To make a difference between date and strings, what you have to do is you have to give the one keyword. So date keyword you have to give it. So while inserting the values for a date data type, what we are giving is date is the keyword, then followed by in a single quote we are giving the actual data. Okay, so this format is again some depends on some software or some versions of software also, it's in differs by default. Okay, so in some system by default it is a DDMMYYY. Okay, and in some system it's a reverse way. Okay, like this whatever we are referring here in Oracle 11G whatever now, there is nothing but it's a YYY. Okay, then then DD. Okay, so depending on system you have to identify it, then you have to give it. So normally if you are using first time only, so it will you'll come to know if you are trying to insert it, if it is inserted properly fine, otherwise you just change the order. Okay, first time. So after that you will come to know Oracle 11G whatever we are referring it, it's nothing but we are saying is here this is a year then month then date. Okay, so those things you have to insert it. So like this we inserted. And so if you saw sometimes I have inserted here 5 values only, sometimes more than 5 values. So how will come to know that how many rows I have to insert it. Okay, so this actually it depends on whatever queries you want to write it. Okay, so if possible in the beginning when you're trying to insert some values, if possible 1 or 2 values only you can insert it, then try to write the queries. So whenever you will get as a no row selected, okay, there's something but your query is executed properly, there is nothing but logically everything is correct, but you don't have values inside a database to extract the values. Okay, that is nothing but particular values to extract it, you don't have any particular values. So what we have to do that time is nothing but you have to give here as a, so you have to insert depending on that particular table entries you have to insert. So while writing queries you will come to know what all things you have to insert it. So already have experience about this writing the queries, so directly I know it, so I written all the things here beginning only. Okay, so whenever you required some data, okay, that is if giving as a no row selected, so that time you have to insert more than 1 values again. Okay, so depending on the situation you have to insert it, but make practice of inserting at least 5 values for each table. Okay, so 5 values you have to insert it, then you depending on situation again more than that whatever you require for the queries you can insert it. Okay, so what I will do now, this insert I will execute it in one by one table. Okay, so just if need. Okay, so here it's giving as a rows are inserted like that. What we are doing is here, so for all tables one shot I will insert it. Okay, so we'll insert for all table. Or table entries are inserted. Okay, if any problem is there while inserting, you will get the error, so you can go through it and you can rectify it. Something, but it may be while inserting maybe data type related things or foreign key, primary key related things. Those all things already we saw in normal practice sections. Okay, so now we'll see about no inserted. Okay, so now we have to write the queries. Okay, so here, so first query is, so what all he given, those queries I listed here only. Okay, so first one is nothing but we are saying is a retrieve details of all books in the library. Okay, so he's saying is a details of all the books of in the library you have to extract it. That is nothing but id you have to extract, that is book id, title, then name of the publisher, then author of that book, number of copies in each program. Okay, so these things you have to list it. So if you saw what all things you want is id, you want book id, book title you want, then who is the name of that publisher you want. Okay, then author of that book you want. There is nothing but what all tables you want, you have to list it. Okay. So here, so what all things we want, that we'll check it. So, okay, so what all things we want, we'll check it. So he's saying is id means we required it's there in book table also, book author table also. So these two also four. Okay, so then he want a title. So title is there in only this table. Okay, that is book table. So definitely we required this one, book table. So along with this one we can take this book id also. So two things are over. Okay, then name of the publisher, it's there here only. Then author he wants, so along with this one, author name is there here. Okay, so we have to take this table also. So first two tables we have to take it. Okay, then number of copies in each program, the number of copies, so that is there here. Okay, so that is there here. So total we have to take it in these three tables, that is book table, author table, then number book copies. These three tables we required it. So whatever he listed attributes, to give that output we required these three tables. So what we have to do is just we have to mention those things in our query. Okay, so those attributes you have to mention it, that is in book id, title, name. Okay, so like that you have to mention it. So that is nothing but you have to give us a select, then you have to list the actually all the things. Okay, that is book id. Okay, then title, whatever attribute name we given here while creating a table. Okay, so that is book id, then title, like this you have to give it. Okay, this is case insensitive. Okay, if you are given as small letter or capital letter, no problem. Then name of the publisher, name of the publisher attribute we given for a book table here is publisher name. Okay, one, so like this you have to give it. Okay, so okay, just I'm giving three things, so I will add more. Okay, then from which table you have to extract it, then if any condition is there, okay, that condition you have to put it. Okay, so this maybe it's conditional, maybe it's optional part, or depending on the whatever query you are writing it. Okay, so now we saw here as a we required actually to list these things. We required three tables, that is book. Okay, one by one from this table I want it. Then book author table required. Okay, then I required book copies. Okay, so we identified these three tables are required. Okay, here three tables. Okay, so to give this one some different name, just I'm referring as a, maybe here I will give as a A. Okay, so and I will give as a B. This is just creating a shortcut kind of thing. So it's a normal object, whatever you created in your programming language, like that we're creating a shortcut. Maybe this is a class, then object name, like that. Okay, so here now onwards, if I created accessing as a means it's something but book table, B means there's a book author table. Okay, C means book copies, like that we're extracting it. So here book ID is a dot, if I given means in a first table this one. Okay, now there's nothing but a dot title means first table, that is nothing but our book table title. So then publisher name a dot to publisher name, like that we can give it. So depending on this one, whichever table this belongs to, we can give it. So here c dot, if you saw number of copies. Okay, so this is there. Okay, so I think author name we missed, that is author name is there in second. Okay, so b dot, the author name what given attribute name is author name will direct. Okay, so this is what we wanted. Will paste here. So this is one comma. Okay, so these things we wanted. Okay, so then select from which table, then where. Okay, so if you saw here in this query, okay, so it's not given any condition. Okay, so logically if you saw, no need to give anything condition here. Okay, so directly we can execute this one. So when, if you are trying to directly execute this one, what will happen is, so here this book table, book author table, book copies table, three tables Cartesian product will happen. Okay, so whenever you are giving them from clause, three tables means three tables Cartesian product will happen. And we already saw that whenever Cartesian product is happening, unwanted spurious tuples will create it. So to avoid that one, what we will do is, normally instead of Cartesian product, we will always use for join operation. Okay, so join is nothing but where we are joining the more than one table. So how we will join it is, if a primary key to foreign key, those attributes will join it. Okay, so it will automatically, it will, what will happen, and table joining will happen. So there is nothing but in this table, book table and book author table. So here this is a primary key. Okay, so this is a foreign key, so these two will join it. And book copies, this is the actually foreign key, and we'll join it to the, so whatever already you joined is nothing but one table is formed. If you join these two tables means one larger table is formed. Okay, so that table's primary key again will join it, that is nothing but again book table. Okay, book id. Okay, so like this three things will join it. Okay, so just I will copy paste these all things actually. uh, Same things I have given. Okay, maybe here I have given is a B A C. Okay, so reverse order. Okay, book. Okay, so whatever those things are there that I listed. Okay, so then this is from three tables. Then so this is a join operation. Okay, so book ID of A table join with B table, then B table with C table. There's nothing but all three tables you are joining it. Okay, so this query we will execute it now. So what all things he asked, those are the, is a title, so related to that information we are displaying it. Okay, so program ID also, whatever is there, that in which branch maybe it's there, like that we are displaying it. So all author name, publisher name, okay, this book title, book ID, the number of copies, so all things we are displaying it properly. Okay, so this is the first one. Now we'll go for second one. So here in second one, what he is saying is, get the particulars of a borrower, okay, who have borrowed more than three books. Okay, so here there's something but he is saying is, you have to check a particular borrower, so who has more than three books. Okay, who borrowed more than three books. Okay, then and condition is there, but from this, within this date, that is nothing but January to inside June, so only he took it. Okay, 2017 to this one, January 2017 to June 2017. Okay, so in this period only he took more than three book, so that particular borrower's information what to give it. Okay, so here, so in which table this will be there information, so first that I have to see it. Okay, so here whoever the borrower is there, for that we have as a book leading as a one table. Okay, so in this table if you saw, this is a card number is there, so there's nothing but card number is there for a particular one person, one different cards will be there. Okay, so here maybe one person is taking more than one book, so what will happen, maybe here as a 101, 102, 103, so one person is taking it, and maybe he's taking from different libraries. Okay, so that also library id will come here, there is a program id will come here. Okay, so then here date of issue and last due date is there. Okay, so but here he is given as a particular box. Okay, so here only he given as a, there's nothing but who borrowed more than 3 books between this one. Okay, but he's not said as a when he returned. Okay, maybe this date of and due date is within that or after that. We're not worried about this one. Okay, so only date of issue, so that is there between this period. Okay, so that we are worried only. Okay, so condition of this one we have to check it. Okay, so if you saw how many tables we required. Okay, so all things are there in this table only. Okay, so in this table only all whatever things are required, those things are there. Just what we have to do is, so we have to check it for a one library card number particular, and we have to see, so any restriction is there. That is nothing but minimum 3 books that person has to be borrowed. Okay, so what we can do is, so we can extract from this table and we can do the group by operation on this one. Okay, so if you are doing a group by operation on this one, so what will happen depending on library card, so how many books he borrowed, that count will get it. Okay, so whenever you are doing the group by operation depending on the library card, so it will become a group. Then so we'll count how many rows are there in that particular group. It is nothing but those many books he borrowed. Okay, so then we will put the condition, those is it more than 3 or not. Okay, so if it is more than 3 means, or whatever things we required we will get it. Okay, so for that what we'll do is just we'll write the group by, then we'll try to extract it from the one table only. Okay, so here what we're doing is select library card number, that particular information, because so he asked to extract the particular. Okay, so get the particular, so he's saying there's something information you have to get it. Okay, but if you saw in our this database we don't have any person's name also in any of the table. Okay, so except this library card we don't have anything about that person only. So what will display, so only this card number only will display it. Okay, so here select card number. Okay, so then from this table, that is book learning tables. Okay, so here I'm giving as a L. Okay, so this is nothing but like here whatever instance we created as a B, so same thing here we are seeing as a L. Okay, so while selecting also L dot card number. Okay, then condition, so whatever condition is given is June, sorry, January to June. Okay, so what we are giving is here 1 1, that is nothing but 2017, first date of January to last date of June. Okay, so that is 30th June. Okay, so within that our due date is there or not, sorry, issue date is there or not. We are checking date out, whatever we are saying is, so there's nothing but issue date. Okay, so it's, we are checking it's a date out, so it should be less than this June month and greater than January. Okay, so this one we are checking it, this is a condition, and group by this card number only. Okay, so that's the card number we are doing it. So what will happen, particular groups will be found by depending on this particular person. Okay, if he, that person took more than 3 cards means in a group you will be having the more than 3 rows. Okay, so that what we are doing is now we are putting the condition on that particular group only. So to put the condition on a group we have the having clause. Okay, so here what we are doing is having this count, this library number only we are giving is here. Okay, okay, so what will happen, is it greater than 3 or not, we are checking it. If it is greater than 3, so because we were asking is a more than 3 books he borrowed or not. Okay, so if it is greater than 3, that is my final answer. Okay, so this one will execute it. Okay. Here. Okay, so only one is there. Okay, there is a 504, card number 504. That person only has more than one borrow. Okay, so if you saw here 504. Okay, so 504, 1 2 3 4 5, 5 books he has to get actually. Okay, so 5 books, that is maybe just the book number 101, 104, 102, 106, 103. These books you took it from the same branch actually. Okay, so you can take it from the same branch or different branch. Here there's nothing but program ID, whatever is there, it is one only there. You can take it from the 1 or 2. So we're not worried about this one because just we were worried about this one. And if you saw remaining people, okay, that is 501, he has taken one book. 502, he also taken one book. 503, he has taken one book. 505, he took 2 books. Okay, so and but our condition is more than 3, so only this person card number is 504 has taken more than 3 books. Okay, that is our output. Okay, so next one is, okay, so we'll go for next query. Okay, delete a book So a book related, one single book related information in a book table. So he's asking us to delete one entry from this book table. Okay. Then update the content of other tables to reflect this data manipulation operation. So whatever you will do it here, it has to reflect in other table also. Why it has to reflect in? Suppose 101 book if I deleted. So what all things it has to update is book author related to 101 also it has to go. Okay, so then number of copies related to 101 it has to go it for my entire database. Okay, then whoever took related to 101 book, that information also has to go it. Means 101 related book related information, all the tables it has to go it. Okay, so for this one to delete, what we have is delete command we have it. Okay, so there's nothing but, so what we can perform is delete from book. Okay, then he's not given any information about which book you have to relate it. So randomly we will choose one book number. That's here I think we chosen as a 106. Okay, so 106 we are choosing it, then we can give it. So if I given as a directly, if as a delete from book where book id is equal to 106 from book table, if I deleted, what will happen is only related to book table that information will get deleted. Okay, it will not reflect in remaining table. Okay, so to reflect in remaining table, what we have to do is while creating table itself, so you can give the constraint. Okay, that is nothing but as constraint itself is says the on delete cascade. Okay, this is nothing but one thing is there as a on delete cascade. It's nothing but here while creating table. Okay, suppose, okay, so this book id. Okay, so book id, what we are doing is we're referring here. Okay, so if I given here as a on delete cascade. Okay, okay, so if I given as a on delete cascade, what will happen? So in main table, that is nothing but book table, if it is book id is deleted, automatically system will delete from this table also. Okay, so if I given as a while creating table itself, or creating the book author table, if I given this constraint, so automatically it will delete from this one also. Okay, but what we are missed while giving while creating this table, we missed all those things. Okay, so why I missed with this one is some software supports that cascade this keyboard. Okay, some they support, some they may not. Okay, so here Oracle 11g, it's sometimes it supports, sometimes it may not, like that. Oracle 11g or MySQL, they support or they may not. So what I am doing is I am not using that cascade only. Okay, so what you can do is, so whenever this kind of deletion will come, so manually now sometimes you have to check it and you have to delete it. Okay, so maximum software supports this kind of thing. Okay, so that time if I creating table only, if you given this one and if you executed this one single line automatically, so whatever he's saying, that is nothing but update the entire content of the other table also. Okay, so this one also will automatically get deleted. Okay, but while creating the table, we're not given that constraint, that is on delete cascade. Okay, so what we have to do is manually we have to check it and we have to do it. There is nothing but all the tables which has book id, that we have to delete it. So these all tables, 1 2 3 4, these all four tables has book id. So in all four tables book id we have to delete it. So while deleting this one, so you have to delete in reverse order of whatever you created the table. Okay, so just while creating the table, so whichever is uh, independent is there, that you will create it, then dependent tables you will create it in one by one. Okay, but while deleting the table, whichever is a dependent one is there, that you have to delete the first, that is nothing but from the dependent table, that is the author table. Okay, so this is dependent on book table. Okay, so delete from this one. Then book copies table, this is dependent on book table, then deleted. So here you can change the order, because in these three things, these three are not at all dependent on each other. So here you can change it, but these three are dependent on book table only. So book table entry you have to delete in the end only. Okay, so if I deleted here, suppose book, if I deleted in 106, so that time our database is in abnormal state. Okay, what is abnormal state? Means book table don't have 106 book id, but someone is borrowed 106 book. Like here book leading table, if 106 book table entry is there, so it will be a difficult part to invalid state of database will be there. To avoid that one, whatever dependent tables are there, those tables entries you have to delete it, then independent tables entry you have to delete it. Okay, so if while creating the on delete table, while creating the table, if you given as an on delete cascade, automatically those things will take care. These four things it will take care. Okay, so now we are not given that one. So what we have to do is one by one we have to delete it. So here I will execute all the things. This is the first one from author table. This book ID 106 I will delete it. So then book copy table 106 I will delete it. Then book leading tables book ID 106 I will delete it. Then in book table 106 related thing I will delete it. Okay, so I will execute this one. So all this table has a one row. So one row. This table has a two rows. Okay, so two rows are deleted. This table has a one row. So deleted one row. So depending on that, it will delete it automatically. Okay, so from your entire database related to book ID 106, we have deleted all the information. Okay. Now we'll go for next query. Okay, so here next query here is saying is a partition the book table is saying is a kind of things divide it. Okay, partition the book table based on year of publication and demonstrate its working with simple query. Okay, the thing what the it's actually in physically you can't partition it. Okay, so you can say as it's one kind of virtual thing, so you can partition it. Then you are saying that demonstrate it's working it. Okay, so here what we are doing is to partition we don't have any commands actually. Okay, so what we can do is we can create a view. Okay, so whatever view will create it depending on that only will get the some values. Okay, so here he is saying as a partition is the book table or something, but and the table should have year of publication. Okay, year of publication we want it, so only year of publications will keep it in one view, and that view only will demonstrate how to extract it. Okay, so what we are doing is we are giving the view related information, that is create or replace. This is a view name we are giving it. Okay, so here we are giving the both things. You can give only create or replace. So here if you are giving the create or replace, depending on the situation, if it is already there in your database, it will take care whichever is there. If this view is already exists, means it will use the replace. So already this whatever name is there, remove that one and make it as a updated one. If it is not there, what it will do is it will take it as a create. Okay, and it will create it. So what we are saying is create or replace this view. Then we are creating giving the name for that view. Then we are saying is as this view should be look like as, or it has to treat as this query. Okay, so whatever this query is there, that query will give it. So here we want different only publication year. So what we are doing is select publication year from book table. So automatically it will take that column only. Okay, so this view we are going to create it. So now we'll export here. So view. So it's saying as a view is created. Okay, there's nothing but so in database you kept one new view now. Okay, so now we have to demonstrate how to use it. There is something but normally select whatever things will do it same thing. So you can give table name or view name from whatever is there you can give table name or view name. Just now what we will do is we will give the view name. Whatever we created, that view name we will give. So this is the view name. So only it is displaying the year. So if you want to make it as a distinct, there is nothing but here if you saw 2010, it's coming more than once. Okay, so if you want to give us a different year only, so here while creating a view only you can give the distinct. Okay, so if I given this one distinct, and once again I will create it. So okay, and so previously here if you saw it, we're not having the view of v underscore publication. Okay, so this is view name whatever we given. So previously it was not there, so that time create command was created this view. Okay, so now we already have this view in our database. Now I'm trying to execute same thing, so that time replace will come in picture and automatically it will act. Okay, that is something, but whatever existing is there, that we will replace it with same name. This is the command. Okay, so this is a query, it has to do it. So here now we'll execute this one. Okay, so now it's giving us the different things. Here 2010 it was displaying more than 3 times. Okay, so now here so only distinct we're displaying it. Okay, so this is the fourth one. Okay, then we'll go for fifth one. Then he is saying, particularly he is saying to create a view. Okay, so create a view of all the books and number of its number of copies that are currently available in library. Okay, so whatever library things it's available, that you have to display it. Okay, so here what we are doing is just we are creating the view. Okay, again here also you can you create or replace. Okay, so that is the demo purpose I given. So again here also you can give create or replace. Okay, so then he is asking for, okay, so he's asking for all the books and number of copies. Okay, so book and that related to number of copies. So we will take, that is book id, then number of copies specifically we required. So along with the book id, what we are giving is book title. Okay, so this is the extra thing we are giving it. So what okay, so first before that, okay, so which all tables we required, we have to identify it in this query. So which all tables are required. Okay, so number of copies are there here in this table. Okay, so book copies. Okay, then here we have as a information number of copies, then all the books. Okay, so these are the number of copies, and then book leading. Okay, so second program. Correct. These are the number of copies and in which branch it is there. Okay, so those are there in this table. Okay, so this table we are taking it. Then and one more is book title, we are displaying it. Okay, so here I think we are displaying the book title also. Number of copies, book title. Okay, so what we are doing is the book title. For book title we require book table. Okay, so these three tables we are taking it, that is number of copies. For that purpose, book underscore copies, then for the title book table, then this book underscore program, this is nothing but for a different branches, number, how many number of copies are there to display that one. Okay, so that we are taking as a book program table. Okay, so total three tables we are taking it, then we can execute. There is nothing but here select these three columns B. So just we are giving a name for that. Okay, so for book table B, so book copies for C, then library programs for L. Okay, so here we are giving this one. Then what we are doing is join operation we are doing it. So if I did only these three things, what will happen? This Cartesian product will happen. To avoid that one, always we will do the join. Okay, so that is nothing but this book tables ID, that is B dot ID is equal to C tables ID. Okay, book id we are doing it. Then so in this one whatever is there, this is a program table. Okay, so here program table id l dot program id is equal to C tables program id, that we are doing it. So this is nothing but here what we got is this is entirely actually our join operation. Okay, so this is a query. Okay, total query we return it. So and he asked to create a view for this one. Okay, so what we are doing is create view. So view name we given as, then this is the entire query we given it. Okay, so this is a overall view we created. So here let's put this one. What already existing. Okay, so here if it is already there, just you can do as a just this part you can add is or replace also. Okay, so automatically if it is already there, replace it. Okay, so now we created the view whatever we executed. So for that now we created the view. Now so we'll check it. There's nothing but select star form, whatever we did like this same thing we're doing here. So what all things are there. Okay, so check it. What all things are there we are checking it. So here it's giving us a book id is giving, so corresponding title, then number of copies. Okay, so those things are listed. So whatever he's asking, those values we're listing it here. Okay, by creating a view. Okay, so and sometimes if you want to drop the view, so you can use as a drop view, then that view name. Okay, so like a table you should drop it, drop table name was there here, same thing, drop view name we will give it, it will drop the overview. Okay, so this is what about entire thing is the first program, our lab first program in DBMS.